So you're out with a couple of friends, it's a typical Friday night, and you all decide, it's time to eat. You decide to go somewhere cheap, somewhere fast. Your friend orders after you and he says, "I'll have a veggie burger with medium fries. Oh, and can you add bacon to that, please?" As weird as that may sound, this actually was what my friend Josh said every time we went to go out to eat. He had decided 3 years ago to live by this different lifestyle or different diet. But if it was so hard for him to give up bacon and other meats, why then would he start and continue to live by this diet? It definitely wasn't easy for him. According to the Vegetarian Resource Group, on a March 29th national poll, it calculated that about 3% of American adults are real vegetarians, nearly 8 million. What exactly is a true vegetarian, though? And are there different types? Is it increasing in popularity? If so, why? Typically, when we think of a vegetarian, we think salads, veggie burgers, or garden burgers. But is there more to it? Well, today, we're going to examine what exactly it is a vegetarian, the different types there are, the advantages and disadvantages of being on a vegetarian diet, and why it's still popular today. So what exactly is vegetarianism? Let's crack the shell and cut through the layers to understand the distinct types. First of all, the Encyclopedia Britannica says that vegetarianism is a theory or practice of living solely upon veggies, fruits, grains, nuts, and with or without the addition of milk products and eggs. Generally, it's done for ethical, aesthetic, environmental, or nutritional reasons. The most common and less restrictive of these diets is the ovo-lacto-vegetarian. What this basically means is that they consume all of these other products, but they also consume both eggs and they take dairy products. So it's not as restrictive. One that is more restrictive, which we've heard about, is vegans. The encyclopedia said that this was a strict vegetarian who consumes no animal or dairy products, and usually they don't use anything that's linked to animal cruelty. Also, something that has been rising in the past couple of years is what we call almost vegetarians, or popularly known as flexitarians. Don Jackson Blattner, a registered dietitian and author of the book The Flexitarian Diet, said to Newsweek reporter Karen Springen on September 29, 2008, an article known as The Flexitarian Diet and Why It Helps, she said, "We know people live longer and live healthier if they eat vegetarian, but it's just too darn hard to do it 100% of the time. This diet gives you the benefits of being a vegetarian most of the time without having to be too strict on yourself." So now that we have a basic idea of what the different vegetarian types are, let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of being on this diet. First off, we have diseases. Time magazine, on a July 2002 article by Richard Corliss titled "Should We All Be Vegetarian?" said it can be very beneficial for kidney and nerve functions in diabetics, and also for weight loss. But another article said that it can reduce calcium absorption and may have negative impact on the skeletal health. Another thing, weight loss. It has been reported that if you are on a vegetarian diet, it's a lot easier to lose some weight. But from my friend's case, this wasn't necessarily true. He was a vegetarian for almost 3 years, and if he lost any weight at all, it wasn't noticeable. It was very minimal. So it goes to show you that it may not be true for everyone. Also, the environment. On a February 15, 2009 Science News article by Janet Roloff, it says that it can cause global warming to not be a vegetarian. But what exactly does that mean? Well, it's reported that it's the equivalent to spewing 19 kilograms of carbon dioxide every time that you eat meat, beef, cows. So that's kind of scary, really. Also, the pricing. When you think about it, you can go to almost any restaurant nowadays and ask for a veggie burger or a garden burger or other things like that, but typically they're not extremely cheap. And there are also some other restaurants who sell these items for very costly prices. And also organic foods and other items like that have been made more obtainable to everyone, but you can see the difference in the price tag. Apart from the advantages and disadvantages of vegetarianism, why do you think it's still popular today? Although the amount of real vegetarians hasn't increased much over the years, vegetarian foods have become more available. Why is that? One main factor is PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. They have, as you can see here, many celebrities that do ads for them saying they're vegetarian or saying that they're against animal cruelty, things like that. Like here we have Paul McCartney, and he says, many years ago I was fishing, and as I was reeling in the poor fish, I realized I was killing him, all for the passing pleasure it brings me. So this is why he says he's a vegetarian. Also we have Alicia Silverstone, which many of you might know from Clueless, and she also did a vegetarian ad in which she was completely naked, and she said she'd rather be naked than wear fur or any other animal products. Also, teens and adults. The same Time magazine that I quoted from earlier says that about 25% of adolescents think that it's cool, and this is also true for some college students. But why is that? Here is a picture, about how the cows affect the global warming. Sorry to mention that earlier. So, if teenagers and young adults are doing this predominantly, they can affect what their parents will buy. Personal experience, after I saw one of PETA's videos called Meat Your Meat, I was scared out of my mind. And for about 3 weeks, I was just like, I am not going to eat any of this. And of course, it did get hard for me, and then, you know, I didn't want to watch the video again. So I decided I was going to find other alternatives. So I found eggs that are by vegetarian-fed chickens that were cage-free. So in my head, I wasn't supporting animal cruelty and other different things like that. Now we have a basic idea of what vegetarian is and the different types, the advantages and disadvantages, and why it's still a diet practice today. I hope now, both myself and if you ever hear someone say they want a veggie burger with bacon, you'll understand why.